The Young and the Restless spoilers Wednesday, August 19th. Sharon's fierce outburst and Matt's rejection. The Young and the Restless YNR spoilers for Wednesday, August 19th reveal that Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, will lash out and turn down Matt Clark's Roger Howarth request. Victor Newman, Eric Braden, will also have a strategy session since he'll be determined to solve a family crisis. First on Wednesday's YNR episode, Victor and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, will have a discussion about Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow. Although Nick seems to be back on track in rehab, Victor will still want to do more to help their son. Nikki and Victor will go over some ways they can support Nick through this difficult time. However, Nikki may warn that it's ultimately up to Nick to do the work and truly turn his life around. Nikki might also bring up Adam Newman's, Mark Grossman, newfound interest in Christian Newman, last played by Alex Wilson. Although Nick asked Adam to look after Christian, Nikki clearly has concerns about bio dad Adam trying to take over Nick's father's spot. Victor may assure Nikki that he'll keep an eye on the situation and make sure Adam knows not to overstep. Over with Kyle, he'll try to keep the damage to a minimum when it comes to Billy Abbott's, Jason Thompson, pursuit of Chancellor. This has the potential to turn into a destructive, public mess for Jabot, so Kyle will do his best to preserve his family's legacy. At Crimson Lights, a tense encounter is on the way between Sharon and Matt. Although Matt will ask Sharon to forgive him for his past mistakes, she'll inevitably blow up at him instead, especially after everything Nick's been through lately. Sharon will no doubt blame Matt for Nick spiraling out of control on drugs. Nick wouldn't have headed down this addiction road if it hadn't been for Matt, so Sharon may refuse to offer any forgiveness at all. There's no way Sharon can just move past all the horror Matt inflicted on her in the past either, so he may walk away from this conversation feeling frustrated and rejected. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Matt has some bad news coming up, so stay tuned to see Sharon rip into him. Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless promises an emotionally explosive encounter when Sharon Newman finds herself face-to-face with Matt Clark. After everything Sharon has endured, Matt's attempt to make peace is unlikely to receive the warm welcome he may be hoping for. Instead, spoilers point toward a fierce reaction from Sharon as she refuses to let the past be rewritten with a simple apology. Matt has been trying to find his place in Genoa City again, but his return has reopened wounds that never completely healed. He may believe that acknowledging his mistakes is the first step toward redemption. Sharon, however, has every reason to question whether his sudden desire for forgiveness is really enough. Sharon refuses to stay silent. Sharon has spent years surviving situations that could have broken her. Her complicated history with Matt makes Wednesday's confrontation particularly painful. When Matt approaches her with an apology, Sharon may initially struggle to process what she is hearing. An apology can sound very different when it comes from someone who caused tremendous damage. Matt may hope Sharon will listen, understand his remorse, and perhaps even offer him some measure of forgiveness. Instead, Sharon appears ready to make one thing perfectly clear. She does not owe him anything. Her fierce outburst could become one of the episode's most powerful moments. Rather than quietly accepting Matt's explanation, Sharon may finally give voice to emotions she has carried for far too long. She could remind him that his actions had consequences that did not disappear simply because time passed. For Sharon, the issue is not whether Matt feels sorry today. The issue is what happened to her and the people she loved because of him. That distinction could be crucial. Sharon may also realize that staying silent would only allow Matt to control the conversation. By speaking forcefully, she takes that control back. Matt wants forgiveness. Matt's decision to approach Sharon suggests that he understands the enormity of what he did, at least to some degree. Recent story developments have shown him confronting his own past and attempting to navigate a second chance in Genoa City. Other spoilers for the week also indicate that Matt will seek forgiveness from Sharon. But seeking forgiveness and receiving it are two completely different things. Matt could enter the conversation believing that honesty will help him move forward. He may explain that he regrets his behavior or insist that he has changed. Yet Sharon may see those words as painfully inadequate. For Matt, the conversation could be about redemption. For Sharon, it is about survival. That emotional disconnect could make their encounter especially intense. Matt may discover that Sharon is not prepared to become part of his rehabilitation. She is not responsible for making him feel better about himself. And she certainly does not have to erase her own pain simply because Sharon's anger could change everything. The most interesting part of Wednesday's storyline may be what Sharon does after the confrontation. For years, Sharon has often been caught between compassion and self-protection. She understands complicated people because she has lived through complicated circumstances herself. But there are moments when compassion becomes dangerous if it comes at the expense of personal boundaries. This could be one of those moments. Sharon's outburst may represent more than anger toward Matt. It could signal a renewed determination to protect herself and the people around her. With Nick struggling and her family dealing with its own challenges, Sharon already has enough emotional weight on her shoulders. She does not need Matt adding another burden. And that could be why she refuses to entertain his request. Instead of allowing the encounter to become another opportunity for Matt to manipulate the situation, Sharon may shut him down decisively. Her message could be simple. Remorse does not give him access to her life. Matt may face a brutal reality. Matt's rejection could be difficult for him to accept. If he truly wants to become a better person, however, Sharon's refusal may be exactly the test he needs. Genuine change cannot depend on receiving forgiveness from the people one has hurt. Matt may have to learn that he can apologize without demanding a response. He can accept responsibility without expecting Sharon to comfort him. Most importantly, he can move forward without asking her to forget. That realization could become an important turning point. Of course, soap operas rarely allow emotional wounds to remain neatly closed. Matt's determination to make amends could lead him to try again, especially if he believes Sharon's anger is hiding unresolved feelings. That possibility makes Wednesday's confrontation even more dangerous. If Matt misreads Sharon's emotions, he could push her far beyond her limit. And Sharon has already shown that she can become formidable when someone threatens the people she loves. Nick's struggle adds more pressure. Sharon's emotional state is also complicated by Nick Newman's ongoing battle with addiction. Current spoilers indicate that Victor and Nikki are strategizing to help Nick, while Sharon remains closely connected to the crisis surrounding him. That means Sharon may have very little patience left when Matt appears. She is already worried about Nick, trying to maintain her own stability and attempting to support those around her. The last thing she needs is to revisit one of the darkest chapters of her past. Matt's arrival could therefore feel like an invasion at exactly the wrong time. His apology might be sincere, but Sharon may still decide that protecting her peace matters more than hearing him out. What happens next? Wednesday's episode could leave both characters changed. Sharon's fierce rejection may give her a renewed sense of power. Instead of being defined by what Matt did to her, she can define herself by the boundaries she chooses now. Matt, meanwhile, may be forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Forgiveness is not something he can earn on his preferred schedule. The emotional fallout could continue well beyond Wednesday. Matt may retreat, rethink his approach, or become even more determined to prove that he has changed. Sharon could also find herself shaken after unleashing years of anger. Either way, their confrontation promises to be far more than a simple apology scene. It is a collision between the past and the present. Matt wants a path toward redemption. Sharon wants peace. And on Wednesday, August 19th, Sharon appears ready to make sure that her peace comes first.